You guys, it is about 7:10 a.m. on Sunday, September 13th, 2015. I wanted to share a little bit with you all about my living situation. My living situation right now. Um, Technically, it would be considered, and to me, I don't like to use a lot of the terminology because it's like, um, on the one hand, if you use these words to describe your situation, it binds, and words are very powerful. But I will use these words as a matter of clarification. Technically, my living situation, it would be considered homeless. And the reason why is because I do not have a lease in my name. I can be asked to leave at any time. So that's technically what my situation is. How do I personally feel about that situation? Um, I really don't mind it. And the reason why is because, I mean, there's a certain amount of freedom in that. The terminology is something that's mandated, I guess, by the system as a means of defining, means of defining peoples. And again, I really don't adhere to or subscribe to labels because, again, you can't put things into a box. And once you place a label on something, that label, depending on whoever the powers are that be, they can manipulate it in order to give a certain feel to it anytime that's being said. But to get to the meat and potatoes of everything, the way that I came across this living situation, I was looking. Okay, it seems like we're still doing good. I didn't know. But I was looking for a place, and I was looking for a place that was, something that would be inexpensive, something that would have a mature environment, you know, grown working people trying to get from A to B and doing their thing. And, nothing major, just, a place to be, place to sleep, and that type of thing. So, I'm going to say this. Whenever you come across a situation, you should always trust your instinct at the first bout. A lot of times, being raised in the civilization that we're raised in, we're taught by the system not to trust our instincts. That's a bunch of hoodoo and it has no meaning. But your instincts is the God or goddess within, the power within telling you, what's good or bad about a situation or what's right or wrong. Sometimes I have to admit that if you're in between a not so great situation and another one, you'll say, okay, well, that's just that's just me tripping, but it's not. Okay, so how I came across this situation. I saw an ad. I answered the ad. I spoke to the person on the phone. Being from the South Florida area, every time I hear accent, I initially think Hispanic. But I was pleasantly surprised when I showed up and the person was Asian American. The reason why that was endearing to me, as some of you may or may not know, that is my ethnic background recently, and I believe everything in my life happens for a reason. And maybe this is a lesson to be learned to coincide with that as well, because I've made this mistake before, being that my upbringing is as of such, and knowing there are differences in cultures and upbringings and how you do things, just kind of being happy that there's someone seemingly similar to you. Now, the reality of the fact is, even though that is my culture and my upbringing, my exposure to these types of people are limited. So the fallacy that I have is assuming that every person that I come across that fits that description, that's an older person, is going to be similar to my mother, similar to the upbringing that she had as far as being very clean and very neat and this, that, and the other. The other fallacy is that, I'm judging based on the way that my mom was and the way that my mom raised me and the situations that I had. But the other fallacy too is the fallacy of believing that there's so many variables in this world. Even though that's the way my mom was, I was getting a manipulated version of that. And the reason why I say that is because you have to keep in mind this is a woman from a different place that, of course, they're not going to tell the kids everything. And just out of respect for her, she has officially disowned me. So I do not have, I guess, the right to kind of refer to her that way. But this is part of my experience, so I am sharing it. The reason that I have been disowned, again, is because the world has changed a lot. I have not changed with it. And because of that, it puts her in a position where, because of my lack of wisdom and all the things that have happened, due to me not, going along with the way the world chooses not to see things. I speak the truth and I'm honest. That lack of wisdom, especially combined with hate from different places, can cause a problem for her. So, she saw it fit to disconnect from me. And that's okay. For me, I'm the type of person that deals with honesty a lot better than dishonesty, because dishonesty gets people nowhere. I mean, you don't know what you're dealing with, and you're, constantly trying to go on someone's word. But the thing about it that I've also learned, though, because you do have to trust somebody's word to a certain extent, or at least give them an opportunity. But when you see trends occur time after time and someone slaps you in the face with the truth,